Hey folks, it's Kevin with the Rutherford County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. Let's take a look at our update on our weather, and we're going to look at some real winter weather whiplash from today's temperature to tomorrow morning's. We're looking at a wind chill up to -20. This is significant and probably something most of us have not experienced here. Let's back out a little bit. All right, back to the top. So we're looking at the update for today's date, December 22nd. And we're looking at the National Weather Service stuff back in Nashville, Tennessee. We're currently under a winter weather advisory, and we're going to add a few counties to the south of us. This is going to there's going to be some impacts to travel because of this. We're looking at wind chill values in the area from 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Kind of shocking to say that because that is significant, and I would venture to say most of us have not experienced that kind of temperature change in one day. Let alone for any length of time. Strong gusts are expected, so bring down those flags in the flagpole, secure the loose chairs and things like that outside the house. Very cold air will combine with gusty winds tonight to make a dangerous, potentially life-threatening wind chill values Friday morning, period. This is going to be in effect from 10 p.m. tonight to 12 or midday on Friday. Today's rain will change over to snow. This is going to happen very fast, and it's going to taper off Friday morning. Snowfall amounts are up to 2 inches for our area. Now, I will say that I have a friend in Colorado. He contacted me. They were also forecasted to get up to 2 inches. So they got 8. So just be prepared for more. He also saw a 50-degree slide in temperature in 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours. For our area, winter weather advisory is in effect from 6 p.m. tonight to 6 a.m. Friday morning. This is for the northern two-thirds of the mid-state. So wind chill is going to be potentially dangerous and life-threatening. Very important to consider that, and we'll talk more about that later. The warning again is in tonight, 10 to noon tomorrow. You're going to be looking at about 90 hours of below freezing temperatures. So you're going to want to check on the elderly people in your neighborhood and your family. You may go over there today. You may draw your blinds, get their faucets dripping, make sure they have access to the things that they might have out in the garage or outside the house. Take care of that stuff for them ahead of time and be there to help them if they need it. You're going to want to bring your pets inside, so when the cats come in tonight, they will be staying in all night. We won't be letting them back out. Let those faucets drip. Open up the cabinet underneath the kitchen sink, the bathroom sinks. Let the heat into that cabinet. The dripping water, moving water doesn't freeze as easily. And you're going to want to plan on limiting your time outdoors. So we're looking at snowfall amounts around 1 to 2 inches for us in our area. That can vary locally, but we're looking at generally more snow up to the north. Again, this stuff is hard to predict, so the exact amount of snow is something that I'm not going to put much value in until later. All right, so here's the distribution of counties for our winter weather advisory, and we're looking at our whole area right there. Snowfall amounts are 1/2 inch of snow. Is forecasted, and we're a good probability for that in our area, with slightly lower probability for much of Rutherford County. Inch plus, a little lower probabilities, and 2 inches, even less. This is the timing of what we're going to deal with tonight, and we're looking at 6 to 9 p.m. up to midnight for our actual arrival of this. It will happen fast. The gusty winds will be up to 35 miles per hour. That will blow this warm temperature, relatively warm 50 degrees, out really fast, and we will have a situation where we'll see a 50-degree slide in about an hour and a half, just like they did in Colorado. The confidence are high. The temperature will be dangerously cold, as we know, and the snowfall forecast is going to be, up in the air with around 1 to 2 inches should be expected for that. In summary, we're looking at bitter cold temperatures, and wind chills will be primary impact. Let's take a look at this a little bit more here in a second. And then expect some slick road conditions with up to 2 inches of rain, and definitely some black ice to be considered, especially if you live closer to the plateau. This is the Weather Service contact information. All right, some of the ideas that I have, and you may have your own, are to basically consider if you have to travel tomorrow, how are you going to do it? And what I would definitely think about is if you do break down on the side of the road, you will definitely be in a life-threatening situation that fast. So kind of think of it that way. We're looking at wind chills cold enough to give you frostbite in 30 minutes or less. So if you don't have the proper clothing available, then you are in that level 10 survival situation, whether you like it or not. And you may say, I'm just going down 840. No big deal. If I slide off the road, someone will help me. But you know what? Everyone else out there is going to be in the same situation, dealing with the slick conditions. So everyone in the car needs hat and gloves. That's a prerequisite. I'm not talking a ball cap. I'm talking a sop cap, something to cover those ears, maybe a scarf around that neck, some real gloves on your hands. Have extras of those. You're going to want some blankets in the vehicle. You definitely want some water and some high-calorie food in the vehicle, not just candy bars and potato chips, but you're going to want tuna packs, beef jerky, things that are high-calorie that are going to give you some real nourishment, not just empty calories from that. You're going to want that in the vehicle, so pack a bag of things for that. You also want to stay properly hydrated because you will stay warmer if you're not dehydrated. If you don't drink anything, you're going to actually have a harder time staying warmer, ironically enough. So therefore, you may want a pee bottle in the vehicle if you're stuck. You want some some stuff to get yourself unstuck. So tow straps, tow cables, chains if you got them. Maybe you come along. If you got a vehicle with a winch, all the better. And that said, travel in the vehicle with the best traction available to it. So if we go anywhere, we'll take my truck. I have AT or all-terrain tires on it. Wife's car has road tires on it. So we'll definitely go places in my vehicle, but we're not planning on going anywhere. We're planning ahead. This video is not really intended for those of you who are here watching it right now. It's intended for those people out there that are stuck in Instagram or TikTok and they're not really paying attention to this. And all they heard was 2 inches of snow, no big deal. But this is the real problem, is this really cold, bitter temperature. So some other things you may want in your vehicle: first aid kit, some road flares, things like that, some signal stuff if you have it, things to leave notes on the vehicle if possible, things that you would generally have as a survival situation if you were to slide off the road. Again, you're just in your local area. I'm still in the county, but there's some pretty remote parts of the county, and if you're like on 840, for instance, and you break down, you're more than a half an hour walk to the nearest exit, and then you got to find somewhere to get warm. So if anything's still open. And so you got to consider that for what it is. We are in basically a professional level survival situation with this kind of temperature change. So travel carefully if you have to travel, and put the right things in your vehicle. Now, these are just my ideas. Take them for what they're worth. Please leave some of your ideas in the comment section below. We'll discuss this for the greater good. We'll get those things out there for people. I'm sure I'm not thinking of everything. We'll do another update tomorrow. I'm hoping to do actually a real-time weather update here at the house. I have a Kestrel weather meter. I'm going to go outside with the proper clothing on and fire that thing up and see what the wind chill values actually are. We'll do that at 9 or 10 in the morning after we get things going. This is Kevin with the Rutherford County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And until then, be safe out there, folks, and we'll see you later on.